So let's begin with just getting some clarity on the difference between how do I know whether I'm being empathic or I'm enmeshed with someone. And there's the main things that you want to sort of tune into. The main difference between enmeshment and empathy has to do with your own personal boundaries. Okay, when you're being empathic, you are very grounded in yourself. You are in touch with your own feelings and needs. You are in touch with your own perspective. You're not feeling triggered a lot of the time if you're really being in an empathic state. You are deeply connected to yourself, and you are caring for and feeling into somebody else's experience, and you're tuning into their experience and tracking and following their experience from a place of shared humanity, of joining, of finding similar spaces in yourself. But your ability to distinguish between what's mine and what's yours is online. In enmeshment, if you're enmeshed, it can look and sound exactly the same as empathy from the outside, but the internal experience is one of losing yourself. It's hard for you to maintain your groundedness in your own reality. When you're enmeshed, when somebody else is upset, you're upset. If somebody else is crying, you're crying. And not from a place of like getting it and finding the place in you and being in your own subjective reality, but from a place of almost taking on what they're feeling and feeling responsible for their feelings. And you may also find yourself having this idea of like, my well-being is dependent on their mood. So if you feel like your sense of well-being is unduly impacted by the moods and feelings and thoughts of somebody else around you, that's a boundary issue. And that's where you're going to be more likely to be enmeshed, where you can't tell the difference between where you begin and end and where I begin and end. If you're struggling with some kind of enmeshment, you will find that you abandon yourself to meet the needs of other people. You abandon your own feelings and needs, and you have this assumption that when their feelings and needs are met and when they feel better, that's how you feel better. It's not two boxes and you're either in one or the other. There's a long continuum, and your slider is somewhere on the continuum. Like you always have a little bit of both, but think of it more like ratios, okay, than discrete categories. That'll be an easier way of working with it, because most of us can find the part of ourselves that can get enmeshed. That happens very, very much for children, for example, with parents. They lose themselves and privilege the feelings and needs of the other person, and then learn to stay safe by really tuning in, and they have the sense of loss of self. If that's you, part of the personal growth journey is detaching consciously from other people's feelings and needs. Like you literally say, I'm giving it back to them. I'm not taking it on. That's how they are feeling. And it's about bringing your awareness back into your own subjectivity and thinking to yourself, how am I feeling? What are my feelings and needs? And really bringing your own subjectivity, your own contact with your inner being, your own contact with yourself needs to be strengthened and brought back online. And so sometimes there's a lot of like self-reclamation work that happens. And then when you've got a strong, healthy ego, a strong, healthy personality, a strong, healthy connection with your sense of self, then when somebody else comes into your sphere and they have all kinds of disturbing things going on, you can feel it with them. You can be empathically present to them without losing yourself. You don't find the engagement exhausting and draining and, de-energizing. True empathy actually energizes both people. Okay, you'll feel energized when it's real empathy. Maybe if you have a kind of tired, it's like the kind of tired like after a good workout, but it won't feel like your energy has been zapped and you're like, oh, that took everything out of me. So your personal growth agenda is healthy connection to my own subjectivity with deep, caring, resonance, attunement, ability to presence somebody else's subjectivity without losing myself. Okay.